Hey guys, KS Diver here. I'm really excited to bring you this video. This is my Mira strategies for the new Oregon map. That'll be going live pretty soon, so I wanted to get this out here for you guys just before that happened and see what you can do with it. The map is still so new, and even the people who have played the test server probably haven't seen too many Mira strats, especially mine. So let's get right into this. We're going to start off in the kids dorms area upstairs. Pretty much the main new addition over here is this wall. This wall now leads directly into the sky bridge. And as you can see, I've got a mirror window set up on the left side here to crouch peek people, and I've got a hard wall to the right of it. And then for this window over here, I'm going to put it on the left side. That way, when I'm over here at this window, I can see it. And then, of course, we have a hard wall over here. Let's talk about our lines of sight. So we've got the old double window covered. I can still see white stairs. I can cover all of A site by myself. C4s will reach back there. Nobody's going to sneak back there and plant on me. So that line of sight's pretty simple. Let's go over to the other window. As you can see, this window is controlling the new skybridge area. I can see a little bit into that room if they do happen to blow that wall that goes into the closet. I'm going to show you a trick over here. I got this spot right here that I can't see through. On this side, it's a double wall. I got 2 layers to this. I've already blown it out, but if that were remaining on this side as well, from right here, you still would have a lot of trouble seeing that. So, just a little trick for you guys. If you lean up right against this and shoot right here, you can blow out the outer part of that double wall, and now I can see that window. So, I mean, it's nothing major, but it gives you more line of sight, which is powerful. You could do that with this one as well, although when I was blowing that out, I accidentally got all of it. In addition to what I already had with this line of sight here, I blew out the bottom of this wall right here. And that is so I can see people's feet when they're running down here. Also, additionally, you see that little spot right there? Your team may not like you doing this, so always check with them. But I blew this little part out here, and what you were seeing was those boxes right there. If I'm an attacker, and I'm in here, and this is open, so I get tempted, so I go right here, I can barely see the window right there. You can even shoot out less of that so that you're only looking at feet, and if you watch closely, you'll see people come up here and crouch, and they won't really be able to see you, and you can double wall them with a crouch peek. So it's a pretty powerful spot. Anybody coming around this corner here, you've got instant eyes on them. So that spot is probably one of the stronger spots, and one of the reasons I like this map more than the old Oregon, even though the old Oregon was arguably my favorite map, is because now Mira is even more effective. So I've got all of A covered, I'm in B, I've got B covered, and now not only can I watch white stairs and double window, but now I can watch the approach from the other side. So essentially, with exception to that window right there and part of this wall, I can cover everything with these 2 mirror windows. It's pretty awesome. I've got to test these out quite a bit. On this site especially, it's a pretty popular site, one of the 2 popular ones. And this is an awesome mirror setup. So there's your lines of sight. Now let's go to the dangers. And admittedly, I haven't been able to do enough testing to discover probably all of the dangers. And as these are out there longer, and people start using mirror setups in general, people are going to figure out how to counter them. But I have found a few ways that I have been countered thus far. The first danger is definitely going to be that window right there. Luckily, there's only 1 window now instead of 2. And also, luckily, they moved this thing back a little bit so that it's closer to this wall. And it provides really nice cover. There's no holes through this, and it's metal, it can't be destroyed. So instead of having this open gap for them to shoot through like the old Oregon, now you can sit behind here, and you have perfect cover from gunfire. So this window is no longer dangerous to sit at for someone rappelling, which is awesome because that was one of the most dangerous things about my old mirror setups on Oregon. My next primary concern with these spots is the floor, and the reason I think people are already doing it is because this is the same mirror spot that most people, or I especially, would use on the old Oregon setup. And one of the best ways to get this was the repel. Well, since the repel is no longer that viable, to get rid of the Mira, then people are going back to the other method, which is through the floor. And as you will see here, it's in the kitchen area. It's pretty easy to get in here and not be too contested and feel pretty safe. And they can start blowing up the floor here. There's your Mira window. It's gone. So that's the other main concern with this spot. Now, one way I like to counter this, besides having teammates roam downstairs, is open this hatch here. So far, I've found that when you open this hatch, it seems like the person below you is a little more reluctant and careful about it when they do try to attack you from down below. What's to stop you from crouching over here and taking some shots at them, or even dropping in the first place and taking them out? Maybe not even you, maybe one of your teammates does it. Of course, this strategy does come with its own inherent risks, such as giving them an easy spot to throw grenades through. The only other way, besides a teammate being down there to protect yourself from the floor, is to be very aware of what's going on and listen. That's another great thing about having that hatch open. You can hear people down below you a lot easier, and you'll most likely know, if you have good awareness, that somebody's down there below you. And then now that you're aware of it, you can be a little more mobile. And if they do start blowing up that floor, yeah, it's going to suck if they blow this Mira window. That stuff happens all the time, though. So when it's something that you probably can't avoid, then my theory is hope for the best, prepare for the worst. If they are down here below you, just be mobile. You don't have to play right here on the window. If that's closed, you can still play back from here a little bit and still watch that. Or you can come over here and still watch while he stares. You don't have to play in one static spot. Be mobile. Also, the sound is going to throw them off as to where you are. And it might stall them out while they're trying to blow up the rest of the floor, trying to find you. And don't forget, there's always the strategy of throwing the quick C4. Buck starts hitting this right below you. Well, it's not an instant explosion like Ash's or Zophia's is, where they can just stand back from afar and hit this, and they're still safe. Buck's probably going to be right below you. As soon as Buck's skeleton key starts blowing this up, I'm doing this. And I'm just dropping a C4 and blowing it. A lot of times, that'll kill that guy. Especially in this spot right here where I just dropped that below the window, because he's probably standing right here. Well, if he sees that C4 coming through the floor, what's he going to do? Well, he can't go backwards, he can't go forward, so he's going to have to go left or right, and that's not going to clear him from the blast radius very quickly. So that window and the floor are your two main dangers. Your other dangers are obviously grenades getting chucked through the windows, projectiles blowing up your windows and whatnot. And we're going to cover those in team comp. For your team composition, you don't really need too much. This is a nice spot because it doesn't require too much team help. I don't necessarily care to have these electrified. They rarely hit them. So what I'm mainly going to need then is a Jaeger, or a whammy, or both. So if you put a Jaeger right there, and then put another Jaeger right there. So if you have one in A site and then one at this window, you really don't have to have the third one. He can keep that one for himself. Now usually on my Mira spots, I like to have a shield, and that's not a terrible idea to have on this one. Sometimes I like to have another one in this doorway right here. And what that's going to do is, if you notice, there's no drone holes in this room. So usually my biggest concern with Mira is Twitch, and I love to ban her. But by putting a shield right here, that's going to prevent a Twitch from being able to even put a Twitch drone inside of this room. And that completely saves you from having to worry about it. If there's somebody planting over there, you don't want to have to come across here and throw a C4 like this. It's extremely hard to get that angle on the move quick enough so that you don't get shot, and you're still probably going to get shot anyway. I'm not messing this up on purpose. This is actually a very difficult throw. And still, if they're planting behind the couch, that guy's probably still alive. So, by putting a shield right here, I can get a static position, sit here, get behind it, and yeet that C4 where it needs to go. Anybody planting in this vicinity will die now. So I think that's it for this site. It's pretty simple, pretty powerful, and I've had a lot of success with it so far in the test server. Let's go to the next site. Okay, here we are in the kitchen dining room objectives. And this is a sick Mira setup. Get ready for this. Alright, in here, somebody's going to barricade that left wall over here. and I'll explain that in a second. Other than that, you're going to blow the feet out of this spot over here and this wall going into the showers, also this part in the showers, and the back wall of the showers. From here, they can see nothing, but you can see feet. Same with this right here. You could probably make this one a little lower so that there's no way they can just crawl through. Make them work for it. If they want to shoot you, make them lay down. Or just blow it up completely. From this window, look at this. I can see people in that corner. I can see all the way into the showers here. I can see all the way back there in the small tower. And I can see most of this part of small tower. This is pretty sweet. Now, the reason I'm going to barricade this left side here is because that's a pretty common plant spot. And I want them to work for it to get into that corner. I don't want them to be able to buck open a hole and just get there. If they do run in and they get there, or they do expend hard breach utility to get in there, you can do this. That C4 landed right here. Anybody over here is probably going to die. But the reason that's barricaded isn't just for the utility costs of those guys. The reason it's barricaded is because if you're default planting right here, and if this is still barricaded, they didn't hard breach it, when that C4 gets thrown, if they try to run out, they have to go around now. They can't just back up and run straight away. Because this C4 is a little bit further away than I would like it to be to kill that guy, but it will kill him as long as he doesn't run away. So what you're doing by barricading that is preventing them from fleeing. Now don't get me wrong, this is a ridiculously hard throw to make, but just practice it some, you'll get it. So you've got all that sight line there, got an extremely strong position. Even if you overpeak this and you die, a teammate can take over right where you left off and still have a great advantage. Now you think that's good, wait till you see the next spot. From this window over here, we're going to open up this spot right here. We're going to open up waist to feet level on both of these walls here. And you're going to be able to see the front door. Also from this spot, because of this natural doorway here, you can also see into the garage. Furthermore, you can see a ton of meeting hall. The real only safe spot is from here to about here. These two windows are insanely good because you can cover so much area, and like I like to do with all of my videos and all of my mirror spots, I like to be able to cover both objectives with one mirror strat, and that's why they're team composition mirror strats. So we got our lines of sight. Now let's talk about the dangers. You have one major danger on this site in particular, and that's going to be the ceiling. It's all destructible throughout this entire objective, and there's even a hatch right above a mirror window, which for me is usually a huge no-no. But this is just too strong not to use it. It's going to be a major risk that you take playing this strategy, but even if you weren't using mirror windows, they're probably still going to attack up there anyway because they know a lot of people are going to be sitting in this site. With this hatch, obviously you're going to barricade it, and I would definitely suggest a Kaid to go ahead and just throw one up there. They cannot get this hatch. If they get that hatch, this whole thing is screwed. The next major risk to this site is this hallway right here. This hallway comes in from the backstage area and big tower. With the exception of this long line of sight, there's really not that much danger for an attacker, or if they want to come from this window over here, they can just jump right in and then they're just seconds away from shooting you in the back. To mitigate that risk is to have a shield right here. And you're going to have a shield anyway because you're going to probably want a whammy. Jaeger is really nice in case they fuse you, but this is such a big area that, you know, he can only set off fuses so fast. So if he sets a fuse down right here, just run like hell. It's going to be situational. I can't tell you exactly what to do because I probably wouldn't do that in every situation. So, you know, just use common sense. Run away from the noise, basically. So now that you've got a Kaid to cover that hatch and probably this wall right here, and you also have somebody with a shield, probably needs to be whammy. Put the shield right here. You've got the two major risks of this spot covered. There isn't really a whole lot of other risks in this spot. There is a really long angled drone hole right here, but from this far away, unless you're standing in the doorway, they're probably not going to be able to see you ever, and if you have the shield here, you don't have to worry about it. The last thing I suggest you have for this site is maybe a smoke or somebody with C4s. That way you can prevent multiple plant attempts. I think that's it for this site. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, for our next spot, we're going down into the laundry room. Probably the most common sight in the last Oregon setup, and it's still pretty popular, although I think a lot of people are discovering that it is kind of difficult to hold because there's so many more angles for attackers to come from now. Used to be just 3 ways in: hatches, staircase, and the other staircase or construction. But they were pretty funneled, which was pretty typical of this map. My first window is going to go in the typical spot on the old Oregon. I'm going to put a crouching window on the right and a hard wall on the left. Now the nice thing is there's no hatch and that's not destructible up there anymore. So now you can make a full rotationable window right here. And that's really nice. And you can do your crouch peeks, whatever you need to do. And also, they have to get into this site right here to plant. Whereas before, people would default plant on top of the washer that used to be right there. And that was difficult to deal with. Without the hatch and destructible ceiling, this is a much better mirror window now to defend that side in the main staircase. Of course, with all the new options attackers have, a lot of times they don't use that new staircase as much anymore. So what we're going to do, if your team's okay with it, we're going to open up part of this wall over here. And I probably blew it open too high. You can lower it a little bit. But now we can see people coming into this corridor. And you see this double wall issue again I'm having. This time I left it so I could show you what I do. You just get up against this and you shoot it out. Now I've gained quite a bit more line of sight into that hallway. And what I'm seeing is that I could probably blow all this out. Now I can see almost the entire corridor. There's only a sliver here on the corner that I cannot see. Your team may be extremely opposed to this due to the risk of them being able to just run through here and be out on their backside, and that's understandable. So if they don't want you to do that, that's fine. You can barricade this right here, and that would blind you from most of the hallway, but it would tempt them to enter from right here where they're subject to my mirror window, and almost like baiting them in. So if they don't like that either, you can still barricade it, but this window loses effectiveness the less lines of sight that you have. So I like to have that open. Random people that I've played with think I'm an idiot, but it works. Now for this second window, it's pretty tricky in this site because of all the new routes, especially this one over here. And this is probably one case you can make against blowing out that wall over there, is that now you're opening yourself up to get shot if you're the person who is at this window. So I definitely recommend to have this barricaded. As you can see, I shot out the feet right there. Now, I'm barricading this one, and the reason is because if an attacker comes through that hallway over here, and they see that part of it's open, they can lay down and get an angle on teammates and feet in this room far easier than they can from this one right here. Now that I've barricaded this right side and blown open only the knee and lower part of this side, I can see them. If you can see the edge of the doorway right there, now I can see them as soon as they enter that hallway or are thinking about it. Now, from the attacker's perspective, I'm coming around this corner, even crouched. I get here, I can't see anything. As an attacker, I've gained nothing by that being open. I can see their feet, I shoot right there, I get the kill. From this spot, you can also deny the staircase, of course. And basically now with those two mirror windows, you've got both staircases covered. I'm not going to put a mirror right here because I'm so limited on what I can do, and I can still get shot in the back. I'm also not going to put one on this wall right here, looking towards construction, because now I can't see the stairs at all. So by putting the mirror window right here, I can see all of the stairs, and I can start to see if they push through construction. You're going to need these two walls barricaded, and you're going to need these two walls barricaded. I suggest that those be electrified, and if they can't blow those, now they're forced to come in contact with your mirror windows. So now that we've got our lines of sight, let's talk about the dangers. And the best part about this is there's very, very few. The ceiling isn't destructible at all on any of this site. Really, my only dangers on this site, especially at that window, is projectiles. So a whammy or a Jaeger will do. Right here is a good spot for a Jaeger because it can cover both that doorway and this wall if something's thrown at your window. So from right here, you're pretty strong. Even if they happen to blow that wall right there, you can still play back. And you can come over to this corner and you can still play it. I kind of already talked about this danger over here. If this is blown or unbarricaded on purpose, then you really got to watch your back right here, and it's going to be very easy for a buck to sneak a frag grenade in here and kill you with it. As for that last Jaeger, I would go ahead and put it on this wall right here about midway, It might offer double protection for this window over here, and it'll offer protection from this doorway for any projectiles coming into here. For the third and final Jaeger, I would go ahead and probably put it on the bomb right there. That way, if anything sneaks through, it can catch that, or anything going through that doorway. So you've got electricity, you've got a Jaeger or a whammy. The last person that I think I would like to have is a Maestro, and I would go ahead and probably put him right here. That way he can see down this long hall, part of the stairs, and he can shoot projectiles off your window. The other Maestro is going to go probably somewhere around here. The Maestro is not completely necessary, but he's really nice to have to stop plants and anything that's going on your wall or your window. If you have a whammy or somebody with a shield, I definitely recommend putting it right here, about 90 degrees from the edge of this doorway. And that way, if you have to turn around and fight people at that wall right there, you can do so without exposing yourself too much. Also, kind of gives you a little bit of a buffer for anybody that runs in here from this doorway to hide behind. Let me know if you liked the video, and until next time, enjoy the view.